The airline industry is in a state of disarray like we haven't seen in years. We went through a renaissance of airline courtesy and safety. There's always been problems with like fare wars and obviously after 9/11, security and what got pretty overzealous, frisking down old ladies and children. But the bottom line is we have a miraculous air system. When you look at how many people fly every year, all the planes that are in the air at any given moment, the relatively good on time. There's going to be problems, of course. If there aren't problems in such a miraculous industry like transporting you from point A to point B, where it would have taken months, and now and Indians, and now you're there. So I get that, but we have been in a period of time which has been the safest it's ever been. I remember growing up, there were at least a couple of major airline crashes a year would happen. And every one of those crashes was used by the NTSB to make it safer. They go, well, what happened there? All right, why don't we put this in place and that and do that? And it's just, and technology and training have made the airline industry one of the safest industries out there. And now we have the diversity and inclusion programs in all of these things, and it is a mess in the making. A lot of these airlines are demanding that pilots are more diverse. They don't want these old white guys, the old white guys like Sully Sullenberger, who landed on a river and everyone got off that plane safe.
Why don't they have like a black lesbian in a pilot costume who waves to everybody as they get on the plane, and then when everyone's seated with their belts on, that person goes back, and then the real pilot, and then they
hilarious. There's like a slide in the cockpit, and they shut the door and go, "We're gonna get you there safe," and they shut the door, and then she slides out. And the real pilot's like, okay, Roger.
They give the real pilot just a mask.
Oh, a mask. They pull it off like Mission Impossible.
Yeah, they make it look like it's a blue-haired lady.
We gonna get you there on times. And then everyone's like, thank God, diversity. And then the pilot gets there and he rips it off, and it's 50-year-old white guy going, all right, let's push back. We're going to taxi. It's going to be about 15 minutes. Taking off from runway 259er. That's probably what should happen, but it's not. They're making everything more diverse. I swear to you, I have never heard of an event that has happened twice in the past 6 months. Someone getting sucked into a jet engine. Now this is insane. Ingested. I love that. Airline worker killed after being ingested into engine at San Antonio Airport. This happened.
Local teams are investigating a man's death at the airport after he was killed by a plane engine.
It happened just before 10:30 last night.
Killed by his own stupidity. The plane engine was doing what a plane engine does. Spins really, really fast.
First got there, the entire area of inside the terminal where the gates were was in turmoil.
As Michael Braun entered a terminal at SA International this morning, it was clear something went very wrong. There was a hazmat crew coming onto the tarmac and a tarp covering something up under this plane.
There was a large gray, blackish tarp, and generally in those kind of cases, there's a body underneath it.
The National Transportation Safety Board says a Delta flight was taxiing to its gate last night, and a ground worker somehow went into the plane's engine. Braun said that was shielded from view as well.
I could see the plane sitting there and the tarp sitting there and a big kind of like cover over the
little puddle
engine.
underneath.
Delta says the worker was employed by contractor Unify Aviation. That company told us today, in part, from our initial investigation, this incident was unrelated to
They're just trying to get out of it.
Processes, safety procedures, and policies.
We don't know what
out of respect for the deceased, we will not be sharing any additional information. Neither the airport nor Delta could provide additional details either. Delta did release a statement earlier in the day that said, "We are heartbroken and grieving the loss of an aviation family member's life in San Antonio.
The lateness
Our
of a
hearts
flight.
and full support are with their family, friends, and loved ones during this difficult time." Andrew Moore, KENS 5.
Delta's like, this situation really sucks. Do
Yeah.
you think the body would be like sucked up and end up on the other side of the engine, or would it get sucked up and get spit back out the same side?
No, it goes out the back, just like a fucking blender. More likely, it's some dummy that got a job they probably shouldn't have gotten, weren't properly trained for, or just didn't pay attention to the training, obviously didn't exercise the training. When a plane is coming into the gate, those engines are still running. That's how the plane moves. When you land, you've heard this before, keep your seatbelt buckled until we get to the gate. Right up until they pull up to that gate, those engines are running. And if you stand in front of that engine, there's a lot of air being pulled in. So they suck everything in the front end. And you see all the guys, like before you get to the gate, look way back, like when they're turning. There's a guy way back there, and he's signaling to turn the plane. You know, here's where you turn. And there are cones where you're not supposed to be. And there's other guys with lights.
Baggage people are
All that. They come, but it's done like, you know, they're all supposed to be coordinated, and safety is supposed to be paramount. And there's three places you shouldn't be: in front of the wheels, and in front of the right engine or the left engine. Those are the places you probably shouldn't be.
I would prefer engine.
Those things that are really loud, that are spinning very quickly, sucking everything into it. Don't stand there. I don't know how you even get sucked into a fucking engine. How do you not see that thing coming at you? What are you doing?
How close do you have to be to get sucked in?
You got to be pretty close.
Like from here to the window? Like how close do you think?
Well, obviously, yeah. Because when they're coming into the gate, they're not full thrust. It's not like really sucking it in like when they take off. It's barely, you're going, and they pull it up to the gate. So, yeah, you got to be really close and not paying any attention. I'm thinking high. I'm thinking you're high, maybe not trained as properly as you should be, or the training went in one ear and right out the other. I don't know.
In one engine and out the other.
In one engine, out the other. And this is something, though, that this is the second instance of someone getting sucked into an engine at a commercial airport.
This year, right?
This year, yeah. So you got to be like, all right, what's going on? People aren't paying attention because they're not qualified to be there. And I will stick with that. I'll stick with that.